you need the vocabulary to do the process. However, the process itself teaches you the process. In other words, you learn it by doing it, not by intellectualizing it or any other way. In order to do the process, you need something to use, which is the vocabulary. So, the more vocabulary you have, the better you can use the process, the better you can teach yourself the process. This is a music that teaches itself by doing it. But if you don't have the vocabulary to do it, you can't learn it. Next. It's as simple as that. In the music we're playing in my trio now, I mean, we're playing very avant-garde, but I'm still playing bebop. I'm still using the vocabulary. I just found my way to use it. So a lot of people, to a lot of people, it appears that there's a dichotomy here, that if you copy the vocabulary, you won't be an individual. That couldn't be farther from the truth, because there's a science called psychoacoustics. It's the science they use to build recording studios, and it's based on one scientific fact. No two people hear the same way. And they use this to try to get recording studios for a happy medium so that everybody can hear in a uniform manner. So, if I ask you to pick a lick out of a Coltrane solo and ask you to pick a lick out of a Coltrane solo, chances are you're both going to pick different ones, because different things appeal to different people. You dig? So, and you can't learn all the vocabulary. So my rule for vocabulary learning is practice what you like. Because part of the process of learning vocabulary is to develop your own personal style. Because you can't copy everything, life isn't long enough, so you have to be selective. And what is the selective process? An intuitive, emotional process. Let me explain it this way. When you bring yourself to an artistic event, say it's a painting, you know the phrase, you know, of art. Art is supposed to teach you not about the artist, but about yourself. That's the function of art, to show you something new about yourself. So when you bring your life experiences to an artistic event, and all of a sudden a resonance is created by the artist, by a certain lick or line that you play, that's because the artist found something common between you and the artist. And that's a signal about your conception. One of the biggest mysteries we have is, how do I want to play? What's my style? I even got a question about that earlier. What's my style? Well, what do you need to solve any mystery? What's the prerequisite of solving any mystery?
Information.
No, clues. So, what are these clues? These clues are what in the vocabulary you relate to on an emotional level. In other words, you have to trust your emotions. I probably trust your emotions a lot more than you do. Because, after all, you're students, you don't know anything, and I'm a master and I know everything. That's the way you, that's the position you put you and me in. I don't see you that way. I don't see you as separate from me. I see us all the same. We're all working towards the same thing. We're just at different levels, and it's ridiculous to think that way. So, if you hear a lick that you like, it's a clue to how you feel about music, how you hear. And your responsibility is to take that clue and put it through the ringer, copy it, put it in all 12 keys, and then try to find 100 ways to use it. Now, there's a reason for that. I remember when I first started at Berkeley, and they still give this impression that the way you do this music is to learn 1,000 licks and then string them together. Well, that's not art, that's craftsmanship. Okay? I think it's much more important to learn 20 licks and 100 ways to use each one of them. And you end up with the same amount of information. But you're dealing with a smaller amount of information that all relates back to the 20 licks you've been working on. So what you end up with is a larger sense of comprehension about the music. There's something going on when we're learning music that we're not aware of. It's sort of what I call a big picture, or a larger understanding of how things work, quote unquote. And you don't realize you're developing it, but you are. and it gets, you know, it gets larger and larger as time goes on. I mean,